Santham Academy. Welcome to Digital Kaksha. To get updates on new videos, click the subscribe button and the bell icon.
Hello students. Hello students. How are you? Hope you all are doing good at home. Now, today's topic is corrosion. We were doing metals and non-metals chapter. So this is the last topic of the chapter, that is corrosion. Now, this word you would have heard in your previous classes also, and this is the process which we see in our daily life also. What is corrosion? When any metal comes in contact with oxygen for a long time, then that leads to its oxidation. Like, for example, you would have seen that if there are some iron particles, iron things which we are bringing from market, so when we are bringing them from market, they are completely shiny and silvery. But after a long time use of it, it turns to a brown red layer. Why? Because or the color of that becomes dull. Why? Because when metals comes in contact with air, which leads to the formation of layer over the metal, and the layer may be oxides, sulfides or carbonate. Here what I mean is, if iron is being placed in contact with air and water for a long time, water here does not mean the complete water. Water here represents moisture which is present in air. So, if the iron piece or any other metal piece, like if we are talking about silver articles, they are also, when we are purchasing them from market, they are completely silvery in appearance. But after long use of them, they turn as black. The silvery appearance of silver articles converts to black form. Why? Because with contact with air and moisture for a long time, there is a layer comes on the surface of that particular metal. That layer may be oxide, it may be carbonate, it may be sulfide. So, because of the formation of these layers, the process which is going on, that is called as corrosion. Now, corrosion may disturb the quality of the metal. Like, if you would have seen railway tracks, then the railway tracks which are very long back being built up, they are completely brownish. That means there the layer of oxide is being deposited. So, if we talk about corrosion, then specifically for iron, if the corrosion of iron metal is going on, then especially for corrosion of iron, we call it as rusting. So, rusting is a process of corrosion of iron. If any other metal is there, like if suppose zinc metal corrosion is going on, then we will speak as corrosion only. If other metal like gold is there, silver is there, then we will call it as corrosion only. But in case of iron, if the corrosion of iron is going on, we call it as rusting. Now what happens? The iron piece, when comes in contact with moisture and air, that is O2, then with this two, it forms a layer, that is Fe2O3 iron oxide dot XH2O, which we call it as rust. Okay, so this is the process of corrosion. Now, we would have seen and we are in practice of doing the prevention of iron articles or other metals from corrosion. How we are doing? Prevention of rusting. What are the methods of prevention of a metal from rusting or corrosion? First thing is painting. When we are having like iron cooler at home or some iron articles at home, that is iron bed at home, then we used to paint it. Why the painting is being done? Because while applying the paint, paint is a oil emulsion, so it contains oil in it. So because of the oil content, a layer of oil comes on the iron article, and when that iron article after painting comes in contact with air and water, then that oil present in the paint cut the supply of air and water. So the rusting do not takes place. Secondly, greasing. So greasing, we have already discussed that greasing is also one of the best technique to prevent the oxidation of a metal. Like we have studied about that sodium and potassium in laboratories are being kept after greasing a layer on them. Why? Because the grease, again, it is oil content, it is going to cut the supply of oxygen to the metal. If pure metal we will keep as it is in air, oxygen will directly comes in contact with the metal and the oxidation will take place. But if we have done the greasing, so greasing is a oil content, so with the layer of oil, the water and the moisture will not come in contact that much as what it was coming in a naked form. Third is galvanization. Now what is galvanization? Galvanization is a special technique which is being used to provide a layer of zinc on a metal. A layer of zinc is being plated on a metal surface so that if that substance come in contact with air, this zinc layer get corrode and the inside metal, which is quite costly, will not get affected. Similarly, electroplating is done. Electroplating, the word itself says that electro, that means electricity, plating, that means a layer of or a plate is being placed. So with the help of electricity on any heavy costly item, like if we have a iron article, if we have a silver statue, if we have a gold statue, so in that case electroplating is being done. So with the help of electricity, a layer of another metal is being placed on the heavy and costly metal, so that if that thing comes in contact, the outside layer only will come in contact and will get corrode, and the inside costly metal will remain as it is. So this is the technique. Now next is alloying. Now what is alloying? This alloying we will discuss in detail now. Alloying is just a mixture of two or more metals. Now how these two or more metals are being mixed up? When I want to mix, like for example, if we talk about brass, so brass is an alloy which is made by adding 80% of copper and 20% of zinc. Why it is being done? Because if we will have pure copper, so pure copper is highly corrosive, that means it get corrode very easily. So to prevent the corrosion, we used to add 20% of zinc in it. How these two metals are being mixed up? Both are in solid form. So first, these two solids are being melted. Means the solid, with the help of high amount of temperature, they are being melted, and that form is called as molten form. And after the molten form, when we get the molten form of copper and the molten form of zinc, both the molten form are mixed together in a liquid form, and then they are going to poured in the mold, whatever shape we want, that shape we get after it get demold. That means again after cooling down it converts to a solid, and that becomes a alloy. Now how many types of alloy, what are the examples? Now we are going to discuss about it. So alloys are the homogeneous mixture. Homogeneous mixture means which is uniform throughout. When we are mixing something to one another and we see that the compositions are not seen, they are completely mixed, that means that is homogeneous mixture. So alloys are the homogeneous mixture of two or more metals. Now how the two or more metals are being mixed up? This is what I have told, that when we have to mix two or more metals, metals are in solid form. So to mix them, we need to first heat the metal. When we will heat the metal at high temperature, then the metal melts and then we get a molten metal. After that, both the molten metals are being mixed together in a liquid form, and that liquid becomes an alloy. After that, when this mixed liquid cools down, it becomes alloy. Now, types of alloys. How many types of alloys are there? First is ferrous alloys. Ferrous alloys are those alloys which contain iron in them. Ferrous here represent iron. So, the example is manganese steel. This steel contains iron as 86% and manganese as 13% and carbon as 1%. Then, the next example is nickel steel. In the nickel steel, iron is 98%, nickel is 2%. Now in exam, the question comes many times for 1 mark, that what are the constituents present in brass? Then you need to write that the brass has constituent copper and zinc. Percentage is not much more important, but the content, the constituent which is present in the alloy should be learned. Second type of alloy is non-ferrous alloy. The word says that non-ferrous, that means non-availability of iron in it. So the example is brass. Brass contains 80% of copper and 20% of zinc. There is no iron in it. Therefore, it is non-ferrous. Next example is bronze. It contains copper and Sn, that is tin. So copper is 90% in it and tin is 10% in it. Moving on to the next type and the last type of alloy, that is amalgam. Now what are amalgams? Amalgams truly represent only mercury. When we add a metal, mix a metal to mercury, then it is called as amalgam. Two types of amalgams are there which are present, that is sodium amalgam and zinc amalgam. When mercury is mixed with sodium, it is sodium amalgam. When zinc is mixed with mercury, then it is zinc amalgam. Now, what are the properties of alloys? Why the alloys are being manufactured? Why we are not taking metal? We are taking alloys in maximum use, not metal. First and major reason is that alloys are non-corrosive. So the properties are, first, alloys are more stronger. As compared to metals, alloys are more stronger. They have more tensile strength. They are more harder. That means if suppose I am having iron, on the other way I am having alloy of iron, then we can break the iron very easily, but we cannot break the alloy very easily. That means when the metal converts to alloy, the alloy becomes harder, more hard, more strong. Then third property is more resistance to corrosion. This is what I had told. This is a major reason to make a alloy, that is the alloys are non-corrosive. Then they have low melting point. So therefore alloys are being made because alloys have low melting point. Then they have low conductivity. Electricity will not easily flow in the alloys. Therefore you would have seen electric iron, if you would have seen, that is made up of nickel alloy. Why? Because if you will take pure iron in that place, so pure iron, the electrical conductivity will be high. So if there is any short circuit or if any circuit breaks, then you may get the electric shock very easily. But since the alloy is being used to make the electric iron, therefore because of the low conductivity of alloy, you will not get the shock that much extent as you were getting in the pure metal form. Some more examples are solder. This is an alloy which is being made by adding lead and tin. Here lead is 80% and tin is 20%. Next is stainless steel. Stainless steel we all have at our home. We used to prefer stainless steel. It contains iron, chromium and nickel. Why chromium and nickel are being added in iron? To increase its tensile strength, to make it more strong. Then gold. Now everyone knows about it that the pure gold is 24 karat gold. But we cannot make the ornaments of 24 karat gold because 24 karat gold can melt very easily. So if suppose we are having a harem or we are having some jewelry made up of gold of 24 karat, then in that case what will happen? Even a sudden rise in temperature may melt the gold in such extent that its design is going to mix to each other. Therefore, gold jewelries are not made up of 24 karat gold. They are made up of 18 karat gold or 21 karat gold. That means in the gold 2 to 3% of something is being added to make it alloy. So 18 karat and 21 karat gold is an alloy and 24 karat gold is a pure gold. So how this 24 karat gold is converted to 21 karat or 22 karat? By adding silver or copper in it. So in this way the gold is being mixed with silver or copper to increase its strength, to make it more hard, so that by increasing temperature it is not going to get melt. And by this we have completed the third chapter of chemistry, metals and non-metals. I hope everyone has understood to a maximum extent. Thank you everyone for liking our videos, for subscribing our channel and to pay that much tribute to us. Thank you.
Thanks for watching. If you like this video, make sure to like, share and subscribe for more.